John, Sean, Hugo, Dave, Jude, Dagdav, Amy, Joy, Kaylee, Charlie, Charles? Was that right? We're going to stay with your names and we're going to build it up a bit and we're going to look at alliteration with your names. Do you know anyone know what alliteration is?
I know.
What's alliteration?
Where you use the same letter.
So the project began about a year ago. It was the inspiration of my colleague Wendy Cutts. Wendy and I'd work with what we refer to as seldom heard groups, i.e. groups that are outside of mainstream society. So we thought it would be interesting to use the theme of the Paralympics to basically at the centre of an idea of working with young people with various physical disabilities to enable them to communicate about their own experiences and perhaps engage in conversations whereby they can talk about things that they might like to see changed out in society and issues that have been affecting them.
Some of these guys actually have a different way of communicating, so you might see words appearing behind them. They might have a special voice synthesizer, or they might be signing. So this is lots of different ways of communicating. Clap for these guys.
Some of the most inspiring people I've ever worked with. Really beautiful what human beings can do regardless of perceived setbacks. So this is a poem all about my mate David here. David can't walk and he can't talk. And he goes around in a smart electric wheelchair and he talks to an electric voice synthesizer, and David is always laughing. And though it takes great effort for David to just spell a word, let alone write a poem, still he just gets stuck in. He goes for it, he lets his heart pour out, and it sounds funny the way his voice synthesizer takes his words, scrubs them free from emotion, and takes the strongest passion and renders it flat and atonal. But just look at David's eyes. David can control his eyes. Look at them focusing on his screen, burning like lasers, searing his lines.
It's been really inspiring to watch what they've come up with and to be able to think of ways of helping these young people step outside of their bodies and outside of their limitations and be able to think what they would do if they were free from the confines of their disability.
The truth is, I can do anything that I want. I am an actor on West End, doing the thing that I love, or an F1 driver, driving the Grand Prix around the globe.
It's quite a safe environment here, and it's easy to all be really, life's great, everything's great fun, but there's a real reality to what these young people have to go through. And talking about that is much harder than pretending that it doesn't exist. There was a point in the project about halfway through when we started to talk about disability and actually with the young people what disability meant. And there was a real kind of hurdle, if you like, at that point, because often actually people don't talk about their disabilities or what that means or how maybe other people might view them. So it took quite a lot of determination and courage, I think, to get through that and to actually say, this is how I feel.
I spend my life frustrated. It's tiring being me. I'm often confused and angry, but people don't always see the real me. People see the wheelchair as an ugly part of me. But look at me. I'm thin and pretty. Something everyone wants to be.
I feel, and I remember particularly with people like Lucy, who talking about how angry she felt and how upset she felt at people who stared at her, or looking out the window at home and seeing everyone playing and having a good time and not being able to go out there. And for the young people to really start to talk about that and how they felt and how isolated they felt and how they felt about what other being judged, really, I think that took a lot of courage, and then start putting that into poems. So I think that was a real point of courage to talk, basically to talk about how the other people view them and their disabilities.
After he had brain injury. It seems like you're on your own. Your friends leave you, and you've only got your family.
Jagdev is a student that came to us a couple of years ago, and he wasn't born disabled. He had an aneurysm and became disabled. And his poem is about the very start of his disability. And he's gone on a very long journey about accepting who he is now, accepting his disability, but celebrating the person that he has become. And I think his poem it's very courageous. It's sharing that moment when he had his aneurysm. It's sharing the very moment when his life changed forever.
Yeah, it might take Jagdev a bit of time to get through this poem, but I know that you're going to be with him. He wrote this about his experiences, and it's called My Name is Jagdev Singh.
My name is Jagdev Singh. If I could, I would change everything.
There's been some really powerful thoughts and feelings spoken through the poetry, through the students' work, and they haven't been afraid to say what they think and what they feel about their own lives and how they live their lives. But I think there's more to come. Well, there's definitely more to come, and I would like to be able to give them those platforms to be able to do that and just have other people listen to what they have to say, really. And it's great to have this vehicle to do it, and something to continue to work towards would be wonderful, yes.
The truth is I can do anything that I want. It was you that's disabled. I am not disabled. I am just you.